Have you ever looked at your job and thought, is this really it? You felt like it was draining your spirit, not just your energy? A lot of people are really hanging on right now and they want to keep their jobs, but at the same point, they don't even want to be there. And they go, is this all there is? You are not alone. And in this video, I am going to help you look at this from a new perspective. The first thing I want you to understand is associative conditioning. Pavlov rang the bell and fed the dog. Rang the bell and fed the dog, rang the bell and fed the dog, rang the bell and the dog salivated because the dog associated food with the bell. You go to work and you feel disenchantment, then you go to work, it's going to automatically trigger these emotions of disenchantment, dread, or pointlessness at work. So you have to understand that these feelings you have about your job are probably wired in at this point. And what we want to do is rewire you, which is absolutely possible because I do it to myself on the daily. Once you understand how the machine works, you can work the machine instead of the machine working you. I am going to give you 3 points in this video that is going to change the way you feel about your job completely if you choose to utilize them, embrace them, and prove them out. And the first one is simply the power of perspective. When we're in survival, we perceive things one way. So if you perceive your job as pointless, that's one perspective. But whenever you look at it from a different perspective, it changes the way you feel inside. Let me ask you a question. Do you think there's any people on the planet Earth right now that would love to have your job? Do you think from this perspective, you're really lucky to have your job? What about this one? What if you were to lose your job in a month? Would you feel better about how your job was right now? Whenever we think we're going to lose something, we like it more. There's a law called the law of familiarization. Whenever something gets too familiar, we get disenchanted. How long have you been doing this job and associating these feelings with your job? Because if you've been doing it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, now all of a sudden everybody's hanging on because they have to keep their job and you're going, oh my gosh, I want to keep my job. I don't want to lose my job, but I hate my job. That is a flurry of emotions. This is why we want to change your relationship with your job. All relationships require work. So your relationship with your job requires work and is worth it. You are lucky to have your job. The second point is your job is not who you are. Your job is something that you do, but it's not even close to the entirety of who you are or what you are. You are so much more than your job. Your job is a means to the end, or better yet, a means to the goal. Be a different player and give yourself a new identity. I love my job. I am grateful for my job. I like a lot of things about my job. These are identities that will help serve you. Don't identify with your job in a negative way. Choose to identify with your job in a positive way. The third point is the bigger the why, the bigger the how. Do you have kids? Do you have grandkids? Do you want to provide for your retirement? Do you want more economic security? All of these whys will keep you in the game. Now, very similar to a why is a purpose. Do you have a life purpose? Do you have a yearly purpose? Do you have a daily purpose? Because that's what I recommend you do is give yourself a life purpose, a North Star. Oftentimes I ask audiences, is it possible that you're more powerful than you ever considered? Is that possible? It's possible. Give your year a theme, and this will give you something to get excited about. This is the year of finding meaning in my job. These 3 simple points will absolutely change the way you feel about your job. The first one is to understand how to spin your perspective. The second point is to give yourself an identity upgrade. And the third point is to give yourself purpose in your life. If you trust practicing them, there's a term I love called proving principles out. If they sit in your head, they're not going to do any good. But if you put them in your life, they might do good. And if you put them in their life and they work, well, now you know they work. I know they work. I know that if you utilize these 3 points, you're not going to look at your job as pointless. You're not going to be disenchanted with your job. You are going to be thankful for your job, and you are going to show up in a new way and understand what a gift it is to have employment at this time on the planet. To me, this is one of the deepest lessons in life. Doing what you love is a gift. But learning how to bring the right spirit to what you do, even when it's imperfect, is a greater gift because that changes more than just your job. That changes you. This is bigger than surviving a bad job. This is about learning how to not let outer conditions dictate your inner state so that you can carry that strength into the rest of your life. If you like this content, please like, share, or subscribe because we're turning snowflakes into diamonds.